Hello, hello, everyone. This is our beautiful view from our window. Oh no, keep back, Ed. That's beautiful. Something poked me in the foot. Uh-oh. Isn't that lovely? It's been snowing pretty much for the past couple of days. Yes, it is snow, Claire. It's lovely. It is actually, it's pretty. It's pretty. We have 3 really, really big pine trees or Douglas firs or what have you. I think we tried to figure out what they were a couple of years ago, and I think 2 were Douglas firs, and another big one was a pine tree, and then another small one was a pine tree. So anyways, they're really, really big. They're massive, and they sit out to the front of our house that faces Trafalgar Road. And I love how the branches load up with the snow and the pine cones, and it's beautiful. And I wish, well, hopefully one of these years when I get enough monies, I'd love to at least light one of them completely all the way up, like big star on the top and all the way down to the bottom. I'll light it all up with lots of lights and everything else like that, whether it be one color. I told Pop to always constantly look out for Christmas light sales or for an auction or something like that that's got Christmas lights, because I'd love to definitely decorate one big tree, because it's huge. It's huge. It must be, what, I don't know, 25 feet tall. They're massive, and they're beautiful. So no snow, you can have some of ours. You're welcome to it. Oh, Andrea, oh, my neighbor, she's just around the road. Actually, her 2 munchkins come here for sewing lessons, and I just adore them. We've been working on a really special project for their Oma. So, hello, Andrea. It's nice to see you. Obviously, she gets the same view I do, because she's literally like, 5-minute walk. I'm glad you're enjoying the snow. And Sophie wants to say hello, too, apparently. So, you can see the busy road behind you as well. What? Nothing? What? You want to turn over? You can bring it this way if you like. Everybody, they must have heard the, we're going live, because now all the animals want in on the show. There's Sophie. Hey. Come here, Clive. Come here. There we go. Up. There we go. There's Mr. Clive. And Miss Sophie. Here, come on. Equal time, equal opportunity. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Sophie, come here. She brings the cup, which the cup means please, come here. Bring it to me. Come here. She just want to share it. The cup means please fill it with peanut butter. And she usually, if it's empty, will give it to strangers or, new people that come to the house. And she'll like, here, please fill it up. And she looks so cute sometimes. She's like, please. Just some more. You can have your copy bag, but you're not having any peanut butter. It's been beautiful here. Did anybody notice any changes? Hello, yes. I'm looking at the small monitor now, not the big television that I used to. So it's now on my left instead of my right. So it's a little bit different for me. The Christmas tree is literally right behind you, a little of the ways. We shifted Walt to a smidgy, so when on Long Arm Wednesday you see a new view with Walt, and we spent a few hours yesterday just kind of doing stuff. Yeah. What are you doing? He's been trouble past few days. He doesn't like change. He really doesn't. He's like a big old bear sometimes. Very busy. Yeah. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to make some changes. Oh. It's literally just the opposite side of the house, really. So pretty much Munchkin can kind of sneak in and out, and Pop could sneak in and out if they wanted to, if we end up going that 24/7. And then, they wouldn't have to be on camera. So actually, it helped tidy my space up, let me tell you. So I'm very happy it happened. So, yeah. All right. Are we good? All right. Fuzzy Wuzzy. Everybody like my shirt? Because Pop and I's birthday are really close to each other. I got him a t-shirt and I got me a t-shirt. This is mine. It says, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. It clearly says me. It made Munchkin laugh earlier when he saw it. And for Pop, it says, surely not everyone was kung fu fighting. But I think they were. So we got we got that. Angie says, yeah, for 24/7. I am liking the change. Yeah, well, it's just been getting used to it. And then we went out for breakfast this morning, and then I came back, and then it was like tidy the space beside me on this side. We've got the two tree skirts kind of hanging off my fabric collection sort of bit here. More like not the stuff I sell in the shop, because that's over there on a different rack and on bolts and stuff. This is more of the bits and bobs and knickety knacks and doodads. So, and collection. Hence why we needed to do a red quilt, because this is what I pulled out from my collection from red and gray. This is it. This is it. There's some Christmas stuff in there. There's some flannel in there. Not a lot of flannel. I think there's a bit of a gray flannel and a little some tiny red flannel. And oops, sorry, microphone back there. And not too much of a variation from that. I did grab a couple pieces of the cardinal just because it was already cut, you know, and I thought even if I just use some of the gray parts of it and maybe not so much of the black parts, you know, that sort of it. So, because I wanted to keep within the gray and black. And Jo Marie, who was here, she picked up her beautiful quilt that was behind on the Long Arm Wednesday. And this was some of her backing. I wish I could have showed it to you with the snowflakes that was stitched out on it. It turned out beautiful. And so she donated this to the pod because she knows that I'm such a little collector. So I was happy to incorporate it into the red and black, or red, black, and gray, I guess is pretty much what's kind of happening. More on the gray scale of it. So yeah, so there's lots going on in here. I even grabbed some ducks and didn't matter. I grabbed it all. I'm not trying to confuse you. Just tidying things up. These are bolts that I have. Pop one at an auction for me, and I've used a lot of the white and that gray bit of fabric there for backings for donation quilts, for wall hangings, that sort of thing. So it's helped me make use of it, that's for sure. Has everybody entered in their words? You only have like a few hours left. It's been very exciting. Very, very, very exciting. And thank you all for your, you know, what you said in the comments. It's very, I read every single one. So thank you. I'm glad you've enjoyed the sew along and, you know, the quilt along. So I had a lot of this fabric here, which is extra bits from the Ronald McDonald quilts. I used a lot of wide backing of this gray and had some really light tan, creamy colored that I did all the backings with, as well as, you know, like really clean top sheets, or, you know, I bought top sheets if they're only like a couple bucks, so why not? So anyways, I had a bunch of this that I really thought I needed to use up, and I thought it would go great with the red, so that's what we ended up doing. Apparently green got in here, so I did try to sort it out my best. If it's some little crazy stuff got in here and I don't know about it, then oops. But we'll pick it out. Anyways, so red and green it is. And I have this template right here. Well, it's just a ruler. It's an Omni ruler. It's a triangle. It is on the long edge, 12.5 inches. On the short edge, 9 inches, and I'm using that as my template when I cut it out. So I'm just going to sew a bunch of little bits together in a kind of a triangle sort of log cavity sort of way. That's kind of what I'm just winging it. I'm making my own design, and then using this as a template to cut it out. Okay, and then we'll sew those together on this sort of angle. So we'll do this, and then, you know, that, and so on and so forth. And that's how we're going to sew our blocks together. So that's what's going on. We'll do work on that for a little bit. Down a little bit. Oh, is it bugging you? No, it's not bugging me. Is it bugging people? It's popping. Snap, crackle, pop. Delicious. Was that all right? There we go. How's everybody? Are we good? Yeah? studio tour is it's really small. By between that view and this view, you've seen it all. Like really. I'm not hiding anything. I was actually crocheting. I was killing time by crocheting, so that's what I was working on. I need a new colorful neck scarf for crossing guard, so I was doing some measurements. I'll put my big loop up here. So I was doing some measurements how if I like to doubled up, you know, then that's okay, because then I could still kind of hide under it if I need to, keep my face warm. So if I did a double up all the way, then it helps block out a bit of the wind, you know. And then I like the color because it's bright and it matches my cut, not necessarily matches, but I have a big bright orange coat. And this is kind of, it's one of those cakes. The cakes, yarn cakes or something like that. And it's got pink and so on and so forth as you get down and around. So anyways, I love the colors. So I needed to make myself a new one. I've had a pink and white one for the past like 5 years. So I don't know, I needed a new one. So that's what I'm going to work on. Oh, Becky. Oh, good, good, good. I'm so happy it came. We almost gave up, let me tell you. And then I thought to myself, okay, like what a wiener head. I didn't trace it, but so thankful it finally arrived. Let me tell you. Very, very happy it arrived. Okay, make a little mess here. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show you our Santa. Hold on a second here. I took pictures of it when I was outside. I don't know how to get back to the camera thingy here, so be careful with the photo. Hold on, I'm still new to this. There we go, photos. Oh, no, not now. There we go. Here, I'll show you. And that is the Santa that's outside of our window, outside our door. He's what, 8 feet tall? Isn't he cute? We love him. He's all blowed up. We love him. And then Sophie and I were playing. And she was out. We're out kicking the ball for a couple of minutes just before the shoot. So there we go. Kicking the ball, having some fun in the snow. She likes it. We just celebrated having 4 years with Sophie. So we adopted her 4 years ago, and she was 6 months old when we got her. So we just love our Sophie. He is tall. I love him. In fact, last year he was behind me in pretty much most of our Christmas videos from like Christmas Eve and Boxing Day and so on and so forth, because when we ended up getting him, Pop got him for me for Christmas, just pre-Christmas, and we had ice storms coming, and I didn't want him to get outside and wreck, so we blew him up inside. So pretty much where the tree is now, that's where the Santa was last year. So hello, hello, Alicia in Uruguay. Hello, how are you? Tree forest looks good, doesn't it? I love that tree farm. It's fantastic. I thought I'd just tack it up behind me here. We are going to build a design wall. We have a 4x8 sheet, and we're going to go get a nice thick, like a bit of foam. And we have obviously one of these bolts of fabric over here. We're just going to cover it, and then that way I have a place to tack stuff behind me. I'm sorry you don't have a window anymore. I realized that after I was setting up last night. I'm like, oh, now they don't got a window to look out. Sorry. But that's why we did that one. It's just to the side, so you can still see. Excuse me. Bing, thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So we should probably get some sewing done, don't you think? Yes? Maybe? Oh, let's get rid of that. That's too tiny. I mean, really, do we use that? Do we save that sort of tiny scraps? No, probably not. Where'd my bucket? Oh, my bucket's full. It needed to get emptied. I might make a mess on the floor because my bucket's way over there now. So. Hello, Lenny. I would love to have it. It's not that hard. I mean, you just have to put a couple of screws in the wall with the big plywood first, you know, or through the plywood or whatever. So, right?
Do a restart on OBS.
We have to do a restart. So we'll be right back. Okay. I don't know why, but we'll be back. I feel like I'm so small in this corner here. I should be back. Scrappy quilt. Da scrappy quilt. Actually, there was a bunch of tiny triangles, not triangles. Squares. Squares. Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't really want that in there. Those are totally adorable. It's not really a red, white and quilt. It's a red and gray quilt. What you doing, Lopey Popey? We'll put that over there. Should be back? Are we good? Are we good? Are you in the bedroom? No, I'm not in the bedroom. I'm on just in the opposite side of Walt. We kind of shifted Walt a little bit, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet that way into the sewing space that was where this was, and moved me over onto this side. We needed a bit of a change, a little bit of a different, it's, you know, as long as Walt isn't in the way of the rest of the house, we're okay. What? Sophie's got her head on my lap. I don't know what's going on. What? What? Just want some lovin's? Hey, just want some lovin's? Like the playtime was cut short. I don't agree with this. Hey? So anyways, I have a lot of that gray fabric, like literally bits and bobs that we trimmed off a lot of the Ronald McDonald quilts that we were donating via the quilt shop. So there's lots of this. So I like to keep between the red and this gray, the common theme for the quilt. Like I said, I have a bit of flannel, bit this, and then Andrea's project, she's in the channel there for her family. There's a bit of this beautiful gray flannel. It's so soft and so lovable. It came off actually another, like as soon as I got it in the quilt shop, I've you know, had 3 backings for it, and so I'm happy for it because it's so soft. Northcott does beautiful cottons, beautiful flannels. They're very soft and very textured, and you can tell they're good quality. Like really, it's good. It's a good knit on it. You know what I mean? So very happy with this. Seem to do in a swirly whirly. We okay? Swirly. So we have a bit of that, and not much else for gray complementary. I have a bits and bobs here and there, but not really. This is probably be the main feature fabric, right? So, so pretty much we're gonna make big chunks, and I thought maybe do this like optimize the time, right? Maybe kind of do it in obviously a scrappy, whatever way I fit, whatever way I want to cut, log cabin fashion, but be able to cut 2 of these out. You know what I mean? So if I end up cutting a 9 by 9 square, and then that gives me 2, and that's, you know, boom, there I got 2 triangles. They don't necessarily have to go together. They can go separate, right? So, you know, what do you think of that? Why not? Why not mix cotton and flannels? That's what I did with this one. All that light blue back there is flannel. Yeah, and I was trying to think if there was something else in the quilt itself, the trees, the other trees, if it was flannel. No, it wasn't. But the light blue in the background. Yeah, why not? Live dangerously. And Clive wants out, so who's going to let him out? Got to harness him up. Stake him out in the yard. He likes to go out in the snow. Mixing fabrics is fun. Mixing fabrics is fun. Yeah, and I got a bit of everything in here. I got some solid gray. I've got some, you know, here and there and everywhere, and you know, some random little bits that have some red and gray on it from last year's cardinal deer quilt for that day. And obviously some pretty cool snowflake gray. So, all right. So my kind of idea was just to kind of take a piece and then, you know, add another piece and add another piece and add another piece. And Clive says hi. Clive says bye. I was thinking maybe keep the center the same color, like always a red center sort of thing. And Pop really liked the whole triangle idea. But if I put a square and I try to get 2 out of this, it's going to make a triangle in the very center anyway. So that to me was like, hey, that's all right. I like that idea. So there was a bunch of little tiny triangles in here, or not triangles, but squares. I was just thought maybe we can go off of that size, but let's see here. Oh, and I had a couple of fat quarters here too that I think I got them as a gift. Yeah, I think they were, or I bought them. They're probably actually as a gift. So it's probably Janice probably bought them for me. So I thought I'd put those in there too. Why not? It's a graze, right? And I haven't used them yet, but you know, they're small enough to still be a scrap, right? I got some stars and hearts and swirls and you name it. And more of that beautiful flannel. Do-do-do, do-do-do. So everybody done their Christmas shopping? I literally haven't bought a thing. Haven't bought a thing. No, the stream's not offline. Are you okay there, Wanda? It's all good? We are doing the swirly whirly again for some reason. Yeah, pretty much the note of the rule. If it's big enough, pre-wash it. You know, other than that, just wash it before you give it. You know, if anything needs to be touched or tweaked or whatever, or stitched down, then you can do that then too. I've been just busy. I'm busy. Not that I haven't felt it. I've been feeling it, you know, especially with the whole Christmas project. And now that the Christmas quilt of 2017, all the blocks are done. Oh my God, it looks beautiful. It really does. The way we just laid it out on the floor. So, like I said, we'll post pictures of it so you can see what it's all about. Oh, there we go. There's another chunk. I don't know. I think we'll just do random. We'll do random centers. Why not? Okay. And I'm just going to use this ruler. And I'm just going to, whatever I want to do, because I can. I don't care if it's straight. I don't care if it's wacky. Just going to make, I need to use the red and I'm going to use it up. Hold on, am I threaded correctly here? I think I am. That's a tiny piece. I don't know where my...
Starting with a triangle?
Well, if I cut it in half, then it will be a triangle, right? Sure. I just said that. Were you not paying attention, Pop?
Sorry,
fixing problems. As I said, if I make it big enough to be 9 by, like, say, 10 by 10, then I can trim it.
I meant the center.
Yeah, I know, but then when I cut it in half. Yeah. Get
her done.
Get her in the words of the cable guy, get her done. Is that going to be an... Ooh, there we go. So there's a nice light gray piece there. Let's just cut that. Let's just have some fun. That's the whole... Have fun with your scraps. I'm going to make a quilt out of my scraps. I am bound and determined to be making a quilt out of my red and gray scraps. I have buckets. And as much as I use fun stuff with kids for sewing lessons, you know, I had one that was here yesterday morning, and we did a pillow for grandpapa and grandmaman. Obviously French for grandma and grandpa. And, you know, obviously we had to make sure the spelling was correct, and, you know, make sure something that was nice, it was going to go with their living room. And, you know, it was a lot of fun to be able to, you know, tweak and play with the scraps, right? And the Christmas fabric. That's got a lot of green in it. I don't know if I really wanted that, any bit of green. We'll put that in the iffy pile. I'm not sure about that. Not sure at all about that. Okay, I like that, but we don't want that much. So This could be with scrappy mess all over the place. Of course, you can use big chunks, little chunks, any kind of chunks. Whatever you like. Go gray and red and red and gray, and or lots of grays and lots of reds. We're just going to have some fun, and I'm going to sew, and we're going to get to know each other. Has everybody entered in? We've had, what, over 40, over 50, something like that, entries. So, take your chances. Take your chances. I think I sent Sue, no, that was Sassalette. I sent Sassalette a message, so hopefully she gets that. And, it'll be okay. All right, now I need some other gray. Let's do some of this gray. Let's do a big chunk. Let's get this gray really prominent. It doesn't matter to me what kind of size pieces I'm using. I'm just trying to use up what I got going on in that bucket. Because if I don't, it's going to be there forever. And I don't know how big it's going to be or how many triangles I'm going to get out of it. But I'm going to be making a quilt out of what's in the bucket. And it'll be just every week. Every week for, 3-4 weeks. We'll see how far I can get. Hopefully make one. I have a lot of green. Green is probably going to be a king-size quilt, so we may have to spend a couple more extra days on that, or find a block that uses big chunks of fabric, because it's big. It's a lot. All right. Have a little chunk here. This is from, actually, it's a Christmas quilt that just left here. This is Rachel's, part of Rachel's, but when I take a little bit of, not necessarily a sample, but I take a bit of my fabric, and obviously a very contrasting fabric to what the stitches are on the long arm, and so I can check the tension. So sometimes there's always a chunk that she doesn't want because I've used a little bit of my fabric and it's got batting and it's got sorts of zigzag and loop-de-loops and stuff. So I just chop it off, and the rest goes to them. So it's not like I'm keeping it all. So anyways, this was a little bit of hers. So I like incorporating because it's scraps. It's that's all I have. It's just a wee bit of that. What's going on, Mr. Clive? And of course, I got the ironing board behind me now. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Sorry? 49 entries? Yep. Awesome. But I think we can get more than that. Just enter. You never know what you're going to get. There's 3 things, 3 prizes. There's the lap quilt. I've already finished it up, bound and everything, ready to rock and roll out the door. And then, of course, the fat quarters or the yard and a bit or whatever have you from the quilt shop. That's up to you. You can decide there at that point in time what you want. Let's see what I like. I got some red. Look at some more. We have to really incorporate a lot of this gray, so I might as well just be bounded determined to use it for like every other space. Clearly, I made a hexagon out of that. And out of that. And out of that. So I told you we had lots of scrappy bits. And this is how I can use them, besides wrapping them around wall decorating. Didn't make them enter? What?
Don't make them enter.
Oh, don't make. Oh, sorry. I said to pop the text was fine, but maybe it's not. I think it'll be fine. Scrappy quilts are my favorite. Yeah, I think scrappy quilts are one of my favorites too. All right, we're just gonna trim some of this because it's fighting me now. It's just fighting me now, and I don't want to fight it.
David, hello.
Hello, David. Beautiful snowy day in the quilt shop. In the quilt shop. In the crazy, crazy quilt shop. Oh, was that the little sidewalk plow that just went past? All right, let's speed this up a little bit. It'll take us forever to get something done. You have, I'm not sure what you were even talking about. So I'm not sure. Oh, the words. Yes, the words. Looks like $1, Granny. No, I don't know, Judy. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody else does in the channel. Looks like $1 a Granny. I know machine binding, that's for sure. But if you use kind of a more of a decorative stitch, like you can see what I did on the second prize, and even the Shazam, I did like, it's like a little ziggity zag heart thingy. I don't know, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I have, like I said, I have enough to make like a red, an orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, a pink. I've discovered now a pink. I have enough for make a pink one, as well as, you know, like blue and purple, and then a rainbow one after that. Like literally, I have enough to do a rainbow one after that. So it's crazy. All right, did I move that? Oh, I did. All right, now take a little bit more of this weird, it doesn't matter what kind of fabric I have going on, as long as it's got that red and gray tones going on in it, that to me is what's special. So I'm going to sew things maybe on an angle, take a bigger chunk and trim some off, you know, all that sort of fun stuff. Do a little press. I love that cardinal. Oh, I wanted to show you. We were talking about panels last week. Da-da-da. And this is the fox one I have. And we're going to do like an attic window with it. There's a certain pattern that you can do for long ones like this. So stay tuned for the weekend project. We'll be doing that one. Okay. We'll be doing this one. Isn't it beautiful? And I kept the price on it because I knew at some point in time someone was going to ask me how much I paid for that. And the panel was $16.99. And I'm sure I got it out on my adventures because I don't really recognize this label from a normal, like, you know, Lens Mills or Fabricland or something like that. So I think I was out on my adventures with Jo Marie, and it was one of the little quilt shops we visited. We probably would have five that day. So I don't exactly know which one I got it from, but it was $16.99. So, and I just literally took it off right now. So, and then it was, you know, some complementary fabrics to go with this, not necessarily take away from it. So you got to think of what you got going on here. You got grays, you got tans, you got a little bit of oranges, browns, blacks, whites, you know, those sorts of things. So you'd use those sorts of tones and colors to make your window, and it's going to stand out beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. And I picked it up. To me, they may have even been cheaper than that. Maybe it was like a sale of a couple % off, or even 20% off that, because I don't know. And funnily enough, I went out for breakfast this morning, and across the road, my girlfriend Sandra was driving, and across the road, fox. Big, beautiful tail, looking healthy, looking good, just trucking across the road. I'm like, oh, I guess it's out for breakfast too. It was only 8 o'clock, or just shy of 8 o'clock, or something like that. So, but. So I thought that I had the panel already ready to show you guys today, and a fox, you know, pretty much crosses our path as she's driving, so. Oh, I did a whole little max headroom thingy there. That's kind of funky. Max headroom. All right, so, and I'm not worried about whether I'm square, if I'm going to be rectangular, if I'm going triangular, what have you. I'm going to take this ruler and I'm going to cut out 2 out of my big chunk that I get. As long as I make it bigger than 10 by 10, I've got lots of room to trim something out. I think someone needs to learn how to use their engine brakes. Yeah. Slow. Oh, the joys of living on a main street. Okay, now, da-da-da. Okay, now I'm just trying to make sure some of it's kind of square, so, you know, when I go to add the next piece, it's not too wonkadoodle. You know, I've got some sort of pieces to add into, but I want to add some bigger ones and some smaller ones. That's the whole point of using scraps, right? So I've got some big chunks, I've got some little chunks, I've got some in-between chunks, you know, all the way around. So, and I've just chosen just a plain gray thread. I have the bobbin full, and I have another one full and ready to rock and roll. Not like the weekend project. 1, 2, 3 bobbins are out. I was trying to use up a bunch. You only got such a little tray, right? So, but you'd be so proud. You'd be so proud of my little tray that I got going on here. I tidied up my desk completely. There's no more crud over there. Not necessarily that it was crud, but I've got like my sewing threads, and then I've got my embroidery threads, and then I got my new box that Pop got me last year for Christmas. Finally got it all unloaded. It looks beautiful. You know, it's sometimes you need a little change to, you know, kind of kick you in the pants and stuff like that. Oh, did you want to see that again? Or no?
See it, period.
See a period? Oh, there we go. Here. There's the new embroidery thread. Well, not necessarily, but I haven't used some of those colors because he got me a lot. And there's my other embroidery threads. There we go. And then my sewing threads, all right there, ready to rock and roll, instead of my little plastic tubby thingies that I had going on. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, we were thinking of, we've talked about it for a little while about maybe, because Walt is so big, you gotta have 15 feet. 15 feet by what, 6 feet?
16 by 7 feet.
16 by 7 feet to be able to deal with Walt and all the area that you need to be able to maneuver around Walt. So, and we don't have a huge house here. We're less than 2,000 square feet, I'm sure. So to help, you know, we only have a couple of places where we can actually move him without him being in the way of, you know, pathways between, you know, front, back, and kitchen, bedrooms, bathrooms, so on and so forth, downstairs, whatever. So, you know, we only have a couple of spots where we can move. So, and, you know, he's been in the same spot for 2 years. So shift him, level him, and off we went. And now if in a situation, we need to use our pellet stove, which is great because it runs off generator power when we get the generator up, and it gives us a heat source as well as, you know, a cooking source and so on and so forth. And we've had that a couple times out here, that we've needed that sort of situation. So, you know, it's very helpful, and knowing that we can and just pretty much spark it up and light it whenever we need to, now that part of my sewing space is not in the way, because it was intrusive upon the fireplace that was over on this side of me, and we couldn't use it. We'd have to do a whole shifty maneuver just to be able to get that going, and that's sometimes not what you really want to do at 2 a.m. in the morning when the power goes out and you have to fire up the generator and fire up the pellet stove and so on and so forth. Last thing you want to be doing is moving this big table of sewing and so on and so forth. So, you know, we thought, you know, think smart, get it done now, and move on, and that's exactly what we did. Because we came close a couple of past, I guess last winter. Yeah, last winter for sure. The power fluctuated off and on a couple of times, but it wasn't in the really massive low temperature degrees. So, you know, a couple of blankets, and as long as we had enough for, you know, a little, you know, heat power sort of thing, we were okay. But, you know, anything extensive, we would have been really in trouble. So. Preventive medicine. That's why we like to can things too. You know, we've got canned food and, you know, chicken stock and turkey stock and, you know, all sorts of funky, weird things. Just to, you never know. You never know. All right, take a big chunk of this going on here. Shelves installed. Oh, yeah? The video's hopping and bopping on the screen. Sorry. Sorry, it was doing that last week, too. We're not sure exactly what's going on. I know Pop was looking into it, but sometimes technology just wants to troll you. Thank you very much, Claire. I don't know what's going on. I did a deer in the ear is very long looking now. Sometimes with those panels, remember what I told you about when I cut Mrs. Claus's face in half? And I did it all up. I did it like I, did my big Santa Claus last year. But looking at it, and it's a good thing I didn't quilt it up because I laid it over the long arm, and because I think I'd finished it when Pop had gone to bed. And I laid it over the long arm, and I thought to myself, "There's something is just not right. This looks so weird. This looks so odd." And I knew it was because I lopped Mrs. Claus's face right in half. Mr. Claus, it ended up being right here, which was okay. He didn't look beheaded, you know what I mean? He still looked in proportion with the rest of everything else, but Mrs. Claus looked really weird. So I ended up picking that all out, taking it down to like a 4 panel instead of the 12 panel it was, or 16 panel. And she looks much better now, but too bad I can never sell it because she looks beautiful the way they are right now. But I think I'll end up quilting it up and just, leaving it as something that hangs up here in the quilt shop. So, but, I know it's like lesson learned, just like, how to cut this properly. And that's always the nervous part. And especially with this fox, we don't want to lop off the fox right in the, you have to kind of do it here and then kind of do it here. So you keep those eyes and nose and mouth in proportion. Sometimes those ears are okay to have that bit of a border fabric in between to give that visual dimension, right? But you have to be very careful. So, I have to measure, end up trimming the pan a little bit, taking a bit of the salvage off, and then end up, piecing it out that way. So it's going to look good. I love the fox. Was that a knock? Or the ice machine? Okay, sorry. Yeah, more thumbs up, people. Hello, Jenny from Australia. Hello, hello. Happy you're here. Yeah, the generator pretty much does the pellet stove, Pop's sleeping machine, and a cell phone. And it charges like one at a time, and that's it. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as I got heat and some way to make a tea and Pop can sleep, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. I can knit, I can hand sew, I can crochet, I can do all sorts of things. I don't need electricity. As long as I got my butt warm, I'm good. And I kind of make myself a tea. I'm a happy camper. And like I said, we have a bunch of canned stuff. All we have to do is warm it up, and we can easily warm it up on the pellet stove. So, yeah, very much so. And it actually boils. It can boil water. So we've had pasta, we've had rice, we've had beans, because we were out power, 6 days? 6 days or 7 days, I think, the last major time when we had the major ice storm, we were without power for 6 or 7 days. And we actually had to drive almost an hour away to get gas and water. And I said, I'll never want to do that again. I don't mind going to get gas, but I don't want to have to go and pay what I had to pay for water when I could have just got it right out of my well. So, hello, Mila from Tennessee. Happy you're here. Am I confusing people things with the changing? It's just literally we're on the other side of Walt. We've kind of shifted Walt a little bit that way, and we're on the other side. So I'm kind of facing the wall. On the other side is pretty much Pop's office on the opposite side of that wall. All right, we're gonna get some sewing going on. Okay, with this Northcott Stonehenge fabric, sometimes the back is just as beautiful as the front. You know what I mean? Like it has just that little bit of often tone of grays and whites. And then, you know, even the other side is just as beautiful, right? So you can choose whatever you like to do, whichever side you like the most. Because I've done that with a couple of the batik fabrics in our Christmas quilts. The angel, and there was something else that I tweaked it, that I like the back side of it instead of the front side. So there we go, we're working it. Like I said, we're gonna make a nice big square 10 by 10 and then cut 2 of these out, okay? I thought it'd be perfect. I've had this for a very long time, and Pop said, oh, why not a triangle scrappy quilt? And I said, you know what, that's fantastic. I'll use this to make them and then put them into pile, and then, you know, take 2 different ones and we'll flip and flop it, you know, this way, this way, that way when we're sewing them together, right? It's gonna be fantabulous. And we got lots. I have lots of red fabric, like buckets. I gathered the bucket. I emptied the Christmas bag. I emptied the scrap bucket. I emptied the red bin. Anything that didn't have too much of a tone of another color with it, like white was okay, and a gray. And I think I chose this here. This is another flannel, and this little pink heart on it. I really like the pink heart, and pink is really so close to red. I included it. I mean, you can be so exclusive or non-exclusive in your selection as much as you like. Even the little bit of holly. I took the holly the same as I took the cardinal. The cardinal's got the gray, the black, the red on it. It has all the pretty much the colors I'm looking for. You know, the little bit of that fabric there's got some gold on it. I didn't want to go too crazy, but you know, like the here, like the ladybug fabric. As much as it's red, it's more white. You know what I mean? So that kind of was like, that's not going to work for me. So we need to kind of, you know, this has more red on it than the white. It's only got a couple of dots. This has more red on it than white. It's only got a couple of dots for the white, you know, that sort of thing. This as well. You know, that's how I selected my fabrics, trying to do this red and gray, red and, you know, there's a couple of black fabrics, but that's not the main point, right? It's red and gray, red and gray. And have some fun, and just have some fun, you know. Make it funky. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I'll be happy to show them off. And one of these days or years when I end up doing like a trunk show for, you know, a guild or something like that, or my own guild, then I'll have all these beautiful quilts to show, you know, of, you know, this is how you can bust your scraps. I didn't cut any yardage. I just pulled. I pulled from what I had. And that's it. I think we can go on this.
David's message there.
Sorry, what's David?
David's message there.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Pop runs the video as Mom quilts away. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. You make it fun for all of us to help us pass the day. Thank you, David. Sing along session. I love that. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Da, 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 da. You know, I'll be singing that at crossing guard as I'm tapping my toe going, na, 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 na. Jingle bells. Actually, that wasn't big enough. I should have cut the other side. Okay. Duh. That was lovely. Thank you, David. I love it when we get all cheerful with each other. It's fun. Okay, so look at that wonky fabric. You know, besides it really needs a press, but we can do that afterwards, right? It doesn't matter. Just make that big 10 by 10 square, and then make your 2 triangles out of that square, and then you just keep going. And in the end, if you wanted to border these triangles out, that would be fine, fantastic too. Put a little piece. Put a little sashing in between each triangle sort of thing. That would still look lovely. I'm going to butt them up next to each other because of the contrasting of the gray and the red. I think that would still be enough. So, but I don't know. I'm learning something new as I go along. You know, like I said, if I don't use these fabrics, they're just going to start overtaking the shop. And we can't have that. We can't have that. But I do have a majority of this Northcott gray. So that's why I thought the red and the gray go great together. Actually, I could use a tip. Just one second. Oops. Oh, I did lose my battery pack. What did I do with it? Where's the other fabric? Hold on, I'm coming back. I didn't leave ya. Okay. Now, because of the tree skirts and the weird cuts that I had to do on the tree skirts, I have a lot of this stone hedge, I think it was called sandstone backing, big chunks and weird chunks. So I need a color that would go best with this for our next session, because I've used gray for this one, but this one here, what do you think? Green? Orange? I don't know. What else goes with that, you know, beautiful brown sort of color? What do you think? Maybe you can't see it with the light, but hopefully. Anyways, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I have a lot, and I don't want to waste it because it's got some funky cuts and stuff like that because of the tree skirt. Blue? Blue or yellow? That's a blue. Okay, yeah. You know what? Blue seems to be the way it's going to be. I was really kind of, I don't know. Orange and gray. Orange and gray look good, and I thought of that after I'd already picked it with the red and the gray. So I thought, oh, maybe I should chose red and black. But anyways, red and gray it is. If I have more gray left over, maybe I'll use orange and gray. Show us on the little camera. Okay, hold on. Maybe you can see it better. It's got a mix. It's got some dark browns and some light browns and some golds and some, oh, pinks. Ooh, hey, you know what? That's a good idea because I did a pink and brown quilt for my sister like, I don't know, 15, I don't know, some odd years ago. And it looked really nice, as much as I thought, huh? When she asked me, it really turned out fantastic. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I like it. We have so much and I don't want to waste it. And it's not enough to put together for a backing for, you know, I'd rather have it as a main other feature to another quilt, you know, when I got all this here. So, you know, I think pink would be nice. You know what? I think it would. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be this browns and tans and pinks. So we'll have to wait for that one next. Because I'm like, oh, I have to do pink too. So does pink come after red or does it come after orange? That is the question. Okay. Oh, let's lose some of this other flannel gray here. This is so soft. I think I might just make myself a pillowcase just of it. When it came, because I think that, sorry, this was the first bolt I have bought of Northcott's flannel. And as soon as it arrived and we were talking to another customer, she was looking for backing for a soccer quilt that she'd done for her kids or her kids coach. And she looked at it and she goes, oh, this is so lovely. So I looked at it and opened up the plastic a little bit more. I'm like, ooh, this really is lovely. I'm like, way to step it up, Northcott. This is awesome. Pair of jammies or even a bed sheet made out of that would be fantastic. Or, you know, quilt next to you as you're snuggling away on a cold winter's night. Love it. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Yes, we can't wait. Can't wait to draw the winner for the tree skirt. It's been so exciting, like literally containing myself with excitement. It's been so fun to be doing this the whole way and just, I don't know, just, you know, knowing it was going to go to one of you guys and who's been a supporter all along of the quilt shop and would know all the words and, you know, that sort of thing. It just makes us proud and happy. So we can't wait. We love their random generator thingamabobber. So, pardon?
How much is it a yard.
How much is what a yard? Oh, the flannel? Oh, this one right here? It's actually wide back too. $16 a yard. It's an excellent deal. Let me tell you, we always have trying to give almost wholesale prices right here at the quilt shop because, you know, I need the fabric anyways, and it's happy. I'm happy to sell it, but I'm also happy to sell it at a really good price too. So if you're interested in it, let me know. I promise not to pre-cuddle it. maybe not. Can't make promises like that, you know. And I just think, like, I don't know how many blocks we're going to end up being with this red quilt. The bucket is big. I'm assuming quite a bit. I'm assuming at least a twin size, if not a really big throw. So, and I'll try and work on a little bit in between, you know, video sessions so you can see what I've got going on. But, you know, no major guarantee. It is Christmas time. I am a busy little beaver, and you know, I gotta make walt payments, as they say. But I'll try. Hello, Charlotte and Emmy. Those are two of my sewing students that we've had such fun. Like I said, we were working on a project for their OMA. Hello, girls. How are you? Big hugs. I'll see you tomorrow at school. I have their project actually is right beside me here. But I got to build a doggy that they want, a Walker Beagle, and embroider a beautiful monarch butterfly. So that's definitely going to keep me busy tomorrow. So because they're coming on Wednesday for a sewing session. There we go. They are two of my students, and I love to have them here, and they are very funny. They are very funny. They're very inquisitive, and I love that. I love that about sewing students. They want to learn. They want to know what this does. They want to know what that does. What happens if we do this? What happens if we do that? You know, actually, I think we need some more red. I'm going crazy with the gray here. The gray. That's what we got. Oh, that's too short. Ooh, oh, that's a bit of a chunk. Wonder why that didn't get my regular pile. We may save it because that's a big one. May save that. Let's do some of the stars. Yes, please say hi to the girls. They are lovely, lovely girls. And they're celebrating their Christmas early, so that's why we were working on their project. And they got some great design ideas. Very smart and intuitive. That's not quite big enough. Very smart and intuitive of what they want, you know, and that's what I like. I like people who know what they want and, you know, and have a desire to achieve it, right? So... And my job is to try and do my very best to implement that. You know, they have a desire, they have a dream, they have a, you know, a vision. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. No, my excitement is right there for everybody to see. Happy-go-lucky. Life is short. Got to enjoy every single momento. Or what's the point of being here? There we go. All right, so put a little bit of that off to the side. All right. Oh, I have some of this. It's kind of like a marbly red. I don't remember where I got that, but I likes it. Seems like a lot. Okay, let's trim some here. And then let's cut some. There we go. Because I want a lot of complexity to these blocks. I don't just want 3 or 4 pieces, right? Exactly. I love hanging out with them. They're really good girls, and they're, like I said, they're very excited about what they want to do, and they have a passion. They have a desire to learn and learn from others too, you know, which is great. You know, and they want to design clothes, and they want to, you know, make something special for loved ones. And, you know, and I think Santa got them a brand new sewing machine last year for Christmas. So it was fantastic because we've had lessons for, you know, a couple years now. So we always have fun. I like it when they're willing to learn. Okay, now let's grab another big gray chunk. Another big gray chunk. Oh, that's just a salvage there. Is everything okay now? Are we all right? Issues? Some issues?
Still running, but we're having graphics issues with
the
same max head flicker.
All right, well, sorry about the max headroom flicker. It really is just my ninja skills. I wish. Okay, the strips are starting to get a bit longer. There's no way they're 10 inches though, so let's do a little trimming here, do a little press in. Keep sliding in my chair. I must have moved it. I'm happy that they have an interest. I like it that they want to design their own clothes too, because we've copied pajama bottoms, we've copied, you know, certain other things, you know, to make sure we get the right size, you know, that sort of adapted a little bit, making pants a little bit longer, waist a little bit bigger, that sort of thing, right? So, the snow looks so pretty outside. It really does. I like it when it falls like this. It's like you're in a snow globe. I'm giving myself a nice clean edge, so when I add up my next piece, it's not like I'm doing some wonky stitches. So, you know, there it is so far that we're working on. Okay, you can see, and I'm not really doing any rhyme or reason. I'm just putting gray and red. I'm making a gray and red quilt with my scraps, and I'm having some fun. Hopefully you like it. It's pretty. I like to mix a combination of colors. So what do we got going here? We have a 9 by 9. We could actually cut out, because I said 10 by 10, but that was giving us a generous inch. I think we'll do another chunk on the bottom here, and to be on the same side, a safe side. So let's do this. Nice little solid red here. Oh, we don't want that salvage. See that little salvage? See that right there? It's so annoying when you find it on quilts and people have taken the time. Hopefully you can see that now. I'm shoving it in your face now. Taking the time to make this beautiful quilt and you leave that on. That's crazy. Why? Trim it off. It's bonkers. I don't care if it goes to the birds, it goes into filling dog beds. I don't care. Use those lines to cut on. That's so ugly. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Just cut it out. Exactly, Claire. I've had a couple of quilts go past and I'm like, do I say something to them that really shouldn't use a salvage? And then I remember, I think I left it in one of my quilts and I didn't remember, I didn't actually see it until after it was finished and done and quilted. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you used like, you know, it was maybe an inch, but you could still see it. You could see all the dots. I hated it. And I'm like, never again. Trim those suckers off. Enough of that, man. Enough. Exactly. We could use one because the cat, when he wants to go outside and doesn't want, you know, and nobody lets him outside, takes the little rubber from underneath the door, and now we have this little bit triangle gap. I keep shoving my work coat by the door every night so it goes in the draft. I picked it up this morning and realized there was icicles on the collar because that's what happened to be up against the door at the time. So I'm like, I maybe need to build something on the Christmas list of things to do. There we go. All right, so let's see what this measures out. And we didn't make too much of a mess with this one. Well, really, it's going to give us 2 blocks because our blocks are triangles, right? So that's 10 by 10, and I said 10 by 10. That's exactly what I said. Now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it any way I like, whether it's going to be this way, this way. I kind of want equal portions of red and gray. So because I seem to kind of have a buildup on gray on this side and a buildup of red on that side, with this block in particular, I don't know, it's just the way it worked out. I am going to trim it out in that fashion. A little bit of red, a little bit of gray, make everybody happy. Okay, so I really like this starry fabric here and the solid red here and the cardinal. I'm going to try and just maneuver it up just a smidge. Actually, I think I'm going to give this a whole top press, just another one again here, just to make sure everybody's happy. Okay. There we go. And that was a solid center on that one. Okay. That's right. I want to go this way. All right. Wasn't it? There we go. That way. Because it was solid on the bottom. All right. Now, whether you want to angle it, tweak it, twitter it, whatever it is you want to do, it's completely up to you. I kind of like a little bit of a twist to it. So the fact it's not completely square and bang on, I kind of like. So I'm going to stand up here and use this as my template to cut out one triangle in this form, okay? And I'll cut another one out of that one, all right? So this is where Lazy Susan comes in handy. Not saying that Susans are lazy, but, you know, the little rotary cutter Lazy Susan, okay? So here's one beautiful triangle, okay? Is that awesome? And then we take our ruler, even though I only got a tiny little tip of that red in the center, but it's still, and let's make a little bit of a triangle, okay? And then with the other ruler, or the other side of the ruler, you line it up on that straight edge, so you only have 2 cuts to do, and shift it down, so you have a bit of gray, you have a bit of red, you know, everybody kind of in a pool party sort of thing, and then just trim, and trim, and there's our second triangle block, okay?
Sue asked if you're enjoying your new space. You seem to have a lot more space around you.
I do. It's a little, because this is my first sewing with it, per se right now. And I literally just moved the ironing board behind me, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes before we started shooting. So, I'm still getting used to it. It's interesting because the kitchen's right there. The Christmas tree's right behind you, which is flashing, and I love it. And I like to see the windows. I can see that it's beautifully snowing out. It's not like it's behind me anymore. And, you know, you can see out here how beautiful it is with the snow. And, you know, it's snowing on there on the trees. It's lovely. I don't know if Pop wants to go in there and take a look for you. But, you know, and then we're going to add, you know, I love it. So far, so good, actually. I like tidying it up. I had... you know, 2 or 3 gray buckets. You've seen my gray buckets I've used for my projects around here, full of long arm thread. And we've got it all contained in a nice chest. It's all beautiful. I can pull out the drawer. You can see every single color. You know, you can see the glide thread. You can see the polyester thread. You can see the variegated thread. You can see the cotton thread. You can see everything. And then in the bottom drawer of that, I have all flowers and leaf cuts and everything that has been done from the person that we bought all the quilt tops from. They had a whole bunch of pre-cut pieces. I put that in the bottom drawer. I'm like, eventually I will end up making something with you. I just don't have the moments right at this particular time. But you know, come January and February, when it kind of calms down here in the quilt shop, you know, it's not so many working on projects for people and so on and so forth. You know, I start puttering into that sort of thing. So, all right. So there's our 2 squares. And I'm going to sew those 2 together. I am so proud of them. I'm sewing those 2 together. And I'm sewing the short sides. Make sure I said that correctly. I always have a problem with sore shoulder. When you say, oh, buddy, I got a sore shoulder, you always end up sounding like you're half drunk by the time you're saying, la, la, la. You know, I got la, 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 la. That always happens with me. I had a sore shoulder for a while, and I really had to think about what I was saying before I said it. All right, I like those 2. We're sewing those 2 together. Do-do-do.
What are you putting on the other side of the triangle?
What do you mean on the other side of the triangle?
I don't know. I didn't mess with it.
It's just more of this. Oh, did you think maybe I was sitting yes, it looks like solid or something? No, I'm just literally going to build up this whole quilt by triangles. You know, and they're not always going to be half and half, and that's how they're going to go. I need to use these fabrics. As much as I would love to work on other projects and make bags and do this and do that, I really need to get scrappy busted. So that is my focus for December to like June, is scrappy busting a color and just having some fun and just talking with you guys and getting to know each other. Exactly. I like the iron that is right behind me. You know, I'm not always having to go, you know, or, you know, shift sort of thing. So I like it that it's right behind me. I seem to have a little bit more space this way because on this side, the cement tile for the pellet stove was kind of in my way a little bit. Not necessarily my way. I mean, I can only roll so far this section. That's why you always saw me over here most of the time, is that I couldn't really get much further than that. You know, I would never be able to get that far. So because of it. Is that Sassalette? Sassalette, check your email, okay? Gotcha? Hopefully you do. Check your email. All right, so we're keeping working here. I got another chunk. Let's put that up there so you know. Actually, we'll put it here because you can see it just a little bit. I like the center of being red. So let's cut off another red chunk. Doesn't matter. It's got a little bit of variegated color on this time around. I like this. Actually, this is one of Pop's old shirts. I think it was my error. I loaded it in the wash machine and I didn't realize it was there in the load. And no, actually, I think I don't know. Anyways, and I was trying to add a little bit of bleach to it. So it got bleached along the sleeve and a little bit on the side. I'm not sure if it was just as in the wash or I actually happened to spill it on the load when I was loading, but I don't know. Anyways, it was one of my favorite dress shirts of his. And I felt so bad I ruined it. So you can see the little, you know, seam of where it was, you know, machine manufactured together. And so I thought, oh, I'll cut up the chesty part and the side back part and use it as part of quilts because I loved it. It was the black and the gray. So it's one of my favorites. So reduce, reuse, recycle. I've used lots of Pop's shirts, dress shirts and stuff for projects. Actually, I did a whole table runner for my girlfriend. She asked me, she goes, oh, you know, my husband's changed companies. We have all these really nice, awesome golf shirts and dress shirts. Are you interested in having them for the fabric? And they were funky patterns and stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I used some of it for a quilt project, for a boy quilt project. And the other, I ended up making her like a Bargello style table runner for her big, you know, from her living room to her dining room is like this big, like half wall, you know, serving table sort of thing. Anyways, I made it big enough thing. And she thought it was so cool because I used his shirts and stuff like that. So she's like, oh, I remember that shirt. And I remember iron and you know, but it was in such a different form now. So yeah, a great birthday gift. And she has it out all the time. So through your finger, ow! That's horrible. That's horrible. That's painful. All right. I like that big chunk of gray. So I want to mix it up. I don't want any to be the same. I don't want any of them to look like they might be the same. You know, they're just random. I'm picking whatever I feel like grabbing and sewing it on, whether it's thick, thin, otherwise. I'm just having some fun and busting my red scraps. Barbie clothes. Thank goodness Munchkin was a boy. But I did end up having to make some dolly clothes when I babysat my nieces or looked after my nieces on a couple of weekends when we lived in Calgary. My sister was busy, you know, she had a second job and stuff like that. So my nieces would come and hang out with me and we'd work on sewing projects and bake and take the dog for a walk and so on and so forth. And yeah. Thank goodness. I didn't mind making some dolly clothes, but it was the tinier stuff that I got really frustrating. Oh, I'm over here. That's not going to sew. This is going to sew. I came pretty close to it a couple of times with the long arm. When you're trying to base fabric and you're kind of shoving things in between and moving things around, you're like, ooh, that was close. I like that my finger's attached. Thank you very much. All right, we got some gray going on here. Ooh, nice big chunk of gray. Actually, I think we'll flatten that out a bit because I can't tell which side is which at this point. Do-do-do. It looks like very much a winter wonderland going on around here. Maybe after the stream, I'll take the loaf of toffee out for a walk. I'm sure she'd love that. Already got dinner on the go. Chops and taters in the oven on slow. Oops.
Says, thank you. It was so sad, Mr. Nobody is banned from my house.
Big hugs. Totally understand. And like I said, we knew it. We knew it. So don't you worry, okay? It's all good there, baby girl. It's all good. All right. Press that gray. Now we need some red. Need some more funky red going on here. What else we got? Got some flags. Actually, that's got too much white into it, doesn't it? Yeah. Off to there. Nope, not in there. Is that got too much white? What you think there, Pop?
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine? I'm going to put it in the think about it pile. Ooh, there we go. We got some ducks. Duck, duck, goose. Okay, take the salvage off because we don't want that. And make sure we kind of have enough roughage to kind of trim that up. What side do I want it on? I want it on this side. I want it on this side. Yesterday was such a busy day in the quilt shop. I must have had 7 or 8 people pick up or drop off. Thank goodness most of them were picking up because they were clearing out a lot of stuff out of the shop. So I was like, whoo, freeing up some space. And I think that's kind of what motivated me to kind of start in this zone. And Pop saying, I think we should move the long arm and level the long arm, and I'm like, you know what? I think we should too. So let's just, shift things around, make it so the pellet stove is usable instead of being blocked off in case it is winter, And so I had a lot of people picking up, thank goodness. It was like jackets galore disappearing because of the zippers or quilts pick up or, whatever or what have you. So it was nice to see a lot of things go and a lot of green come in. It's like, whoo, all this hard work is working out here. It worked out well because, you know, we were in the zone. I wasn't, you know, hiding in the back room or anything like that. And, you know, whenever anybody knocked on the door, they were there. I was there. So you could get some stuff done. All right, now some more gray. Oh, I'm going to use a little bit of this snowflake gray. Do-do-do.
So is it, though, just followed on Twitch?
Oh, yeah? Well, thank you on Twitch very much for following us. We appreciate it here at the Mama Pop Quilt Shop. We have a lot of fun hanging out, having a lot of fun. Working on a red scrappy quilt. More like red and gray, because really by the end of it, I realized I had a lot of gray and a lot of red. So, oh, somebody's leaving already? Okay, bye. See you later. Yeah, we'll pick you up, Angie. Don't you worry. You don't have to drive in the snow. You just might have to wait until I'm done crossing guard before I come down and get you. But I do not mind at all. I will make time. Trust me. I'd rather have you safely in the zone. Okay, trimmed off a little bit of that snowflakey gray. Okay, just kind of squaring it up as I'm going. You know. All right, now, because I got gray and gray, let's slap another red on there. What do we got? Is this red starry bit? Yeah, I've already got it on there once, but that's okay.
Diane asked, what is Twitch?
What is Twitch? That's a great question, Pop. Pop can answer that. It's actually another form of... if I let him. Actually, he's probably better at it than I am. So go ahead, Papa Sir.
So Twitch is another streaming platform that we stream to. We stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Evergland is on the way. I hear you, girlfriend. In fact, we used some of that red cardinal, that green cardinal fabric and the green with the white and the red reindeer on it. We made Grandmaman and Grandpapa a pillow in one of our sewing sessions yesterday morning with one of my sewing students. So, yes, and it turned out beautiful, and she was so happy with it. I don't think I'd ever seen, and her mom was really happy. I mean, she said, "Oh, you've totally hit my parents right on. They're just gonna love this." And they were having their Christmas yesterday, and you know the fact that we could have a little quick sewing session before she went, and she's always willing to make the funnest things and the cutest things, and you know, I love it. It's really, I love it. I love the enthusiasm of the sewing students. I have about 5. I have about 5 sewing students. And I just love their enthusiasm and their desire to make something different and something new, and you know, and want to play with fabric, you know. And they're asking for sewing machines for Christmas, and they're asking for memberships to Fabricland, and they're asking for you know, bolts of not just bolts of fabric, sorry, like yards of fabric, so they can play and have fun and just explore without any stress of, oh, you're wasting this or you're wasting that. It's not a waste. You're learning. It's a whole learning process. As somebody's learning to carve wood and making cabinets and stuff like that, they carving up a few trees. Is that a waste? No, they're learning. It's all about learning, right? They're learning what they can do with the fabric. They're learning what their limitations are and what you know, what they can and can't do. And with fabric, there's a lot that you can do and not a lot that you can't do. You know what I mean? So. Sorry? Pat did?
Yeah, Pat Salem.
Pat, hello, Pat. Happy you're here. Happy everybody's here. Big hugs. Kisses to you. Having a fantastic day. Oh, is Terry here? Terry Noel? Noel Hoff. Terry Noel from Maywood, Missouri. If you are here, your block is here. We didn't have a lot of mail this week. We had one birthday card from Kathy of Baltimore. So thank you very much, Kathy. That was lovely of my birthday card. She gave me a little hair clip too. I didn't realize until I'm like, oh, this card is so beautiful. Actually, I'll show it to you. It's right here. I'm like, oh, this card is so beautiful. And I'm like, wait a second. That's a hair clip. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, isn't that lovely? So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Kathy. So that was just a birthday wish. She's actually sent in her block and stuff. Actually, I kind of jabbed my side of the head earlier, so when I tried to do this. But isn't that lovely? Just think how fancy-pantsy I'd look. Maybe for New Year's I'll wear it. Kiddo, yo. Is that lovely? So I'm going to stick it back in the card. It says, some people were born to stand out. Happy birthday to one of them. Happy birthday to you. Yours truly, Kathy. So thank you very much for that. That was lovely. And the other mail that I don't know if we whether missed it last week or not, but there she is. Okay, there's Terry. But here's her block. I'm sorry if we missed you last week. It was just before Bella or just after Bella, or we completely missed you. And I'm terribly, terribly sorry that happened. But I know you were next to her fabric-wise. So there's Terry's block. Isn't that beautiful? There she is. There. Lovely. Oh, yeah, Sue. Sue was the winner of the Shazam shirt. Love that Shazam shirt. There we go. So thank you, Terry, for your block. It is here. We did get it. Thank you very, very much. That was pretty much all the mail for this week. It's quite a week for mail. We're all right with that, though. We're okay. We forgive you. Okay, is that enough for that section? Oh, just enough by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Okay. Da-da. Is that way on that side? There we go. Perfect. Then we'll give that a press. Da. So we're going to be Shazam sisters. Anybody else that wants a Shazam shirt? Go to the website and order it from Miss Angie. It's her idea, her creation, and we love it. Lots of people have said they can't think of the seam ripper as the same anymore. They think of it as the superhero, which is the way it should be. Because Lord knows he's saved our butt many times. And we can't wait to draw for the tree skirt. Both of them are sitting right beside me here. I clipped them up to my fabric collection. So they're right here. Clive was not napping on them, I assure you. He's not napping on your fabrics. I can't wait to mail it. A couple of you who have entered, you say you have sentimental tree skirts. We totally, completely understand that, and you will get the second prize if your name is drawn. So not to worry. We understand. Lots of people already have tree skirts. They're sentimental, or their grandma made it, grandpa made it, so on and so forth. We totally understand. But we don't want you to miss out, because there is a second and a third prize. You can have fabric from the shop here. We have lots of fabrics. I'm sure not a Lens Mills or a Fabricland, but for our little store, we have some pretty cool things, and they're Northcott fabrics. They're darn good fabrics. I wouldn't buy the cheap stuff, so that's not what we carry here. That's not what we want to carry here, So, don't enter. Go ahead. You have until midnight tonight. Tick tock, tick tock. Give it a shot. You never know. We've had, 50 or 60 people, 50 people, 40 people, whatever, and then you have that much of a chance. So that's better than winning the lottery. Like, come on now.
Ginny's jewelry says hello all.
Hello, Ginny. How's everybody? How's Ginny? Like I said, just using a gray thread, Nice and common. I thought about using red, but I thought by the time of the end of it, I could use all my spools of red and I would have nothing left. But I do have a lot of gray. So I thought gray was the wisest choice. There we go. That one's coming along. See? It's looking beautiful. Watching the snow melt. Oh, we're watching the snow fall. Maybe Pop can get a clip out the window before it gets too dark. We can get in a little clip of how it looks outside of our window now that we have, you know, a couple more. Oh, I love. You know what? Thank you, Gypsy Mom, for suggesting me to Leah Day as a long arm quilter. We're going to have an interview next week. So thank you very much. I'm sure that was all to you. Thank you very much, Gypsy Mom. Big hugs to you. We have a convo, Royal Me, with Leah Day. Yes, Leah Day. Very excited. Almost a little struck. Need to kind of get a hold of myself. But let me tell you, Leah Day. I couldn't believe it when I saw her email in my email box. I'm like, what? What? Leah Day? What? It's like a chicken. It was hilarious. I'm like, oh my gosh. And Pop is like, do you know her? I'm like, yes, I know her. Yes, I know her. How come you don't know her? Leah Day, man. Leah Day. It's like, okay, honey. So did you get some snow? Isn't it beautiful? Beautiful. I love our big pine trees. It's actually one of the selling things of our house that I really liked. Yes, we're going to be doing a podcast. I haven't completely. I have to sign up for Skype and all that sort of fun stuff, which I'm kind of new to. So I do have to get a little bit of things in order before I chat with Miss Leah Day. So I'm very, very honored too. Like you have no idea. I'm like ecstatically excited. It's kind of like meeting the Pope of quilting. You know what I mean? Well, she's fantastic. She's done so much for so many years, and she's so inspirational with her creativity behind her quilts. You know, the whole, goddess of love and, be true to you. And, sometimes you can be angry and frustrated and angry with the world because that's an emotion. You're allowed to have those emotions, even as a quilter, as a human being, as a woman, right? All right, just need to square this up here. It's looking a little wonky. All right. And nothing will go to waste. Anything like this, bits and bobs, will go to like a cat bed or, stuffy pillow, what have you. It's, may get shifted onto the floor, but it does get swept up and, designed for a certain bag because the area is clean. The area is clean before I start, so it's not like I'm, sweeping up anything crazy like. All right, so I like that one. Duh. Yes, very excited about Miss Leah Day. She is very expressive. And that's what I like about her as an artist. And I just watched her video just the other day. Only because of one of you viewers had said something about that she upgraded to a long arm or got a long arm, but she just pretty much got her unique system on rails. So, it's understandable. But, she was gifted it. She didn't have to pay for it. She didn't have to pay for the rails or the upgrade or anything else like that. So, that's a bonus on her part. But the fact they give her something to play with and have fun with and learn and teach us, because I've learned from her. So to me, I think it's a bonus. You know what I mean? You've obviously learned from her if you know who she is. So, it's a win-win situation all the way around, Do-do-do. Do a little press and do a little trim. I am looking forward to getting our design wall finished with the board and the batting and, you know, being able to pin stuff up on here. You know, I love the way this has turned out. It's going to look fantastic on our Long Arm Wednesday when we get that all quilted up. It's going to look amazing. Can't wait to do that. Do some free motion and, you know, customization fun. All right, so trim this here. And this here. Okay. And then, I don't know, I'm iffy on this fabric. What do you guys think? I don't know. Yes or no? It's got a little bit of green and white on it. I need to hear from you. Yes or no? I don't, putting it off to the side. Think on it. Ooh, I got some of this, like, oh, I've had this for a while. This is actually in my sister-in-law's quilt. I did very similar to this pattern. It was called Harlequin. I don't remember what magazine it was in, but as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this up for my sister-in-law for her birthday. And I'm going to include fabric from my mother-in-law. She's passed away. It'll be 11 years coming up in January. And I included some of her clothes that we had because we had a couple of night out, like onesie outfits and some, you know, what do you call them? Moo-moos? Is that right, honey? Sure.
Big floppy dresses.
Big floppy dresses. Is that moo-moos? Is that it? Has something else. Has another name. Anyways, those sorts of things. Anyways, so I used lots of pinks and reds and stuff. And then as the gray complementary color was one of her pajama outfits. And it turned out fantastic. I was so proud of it. And I hand stitched it all together. And it has sashing and cornerstones and you know, cobblestones and any kind of whatever. Anyways, it turned out beautiful. And I did a big size. It was maybe not quite queen, but pretty close. Pretty darn close. Because I know I spent about 3 weeks hand stitching it all together. But it turned out fantastic. And I know she treasures it to this day. It's one of her favorites. For one, it's hand stitched and it has a connection with her mom. So, you know, that to me. No, it's not day gowns. I think it's something else. It has another name to it. Not necessarily moo-moos, but oh my gosh, caftans. There we go. I knew it'd come to this old lady. Caftans. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to cut this one. Hold on.
Robin got it.
Robin got it, did she? Woohoo! Yay, you go, girl. Okay, this is more than the dimensions I need for my 2 squares, or for my 2 triangles, just like this one. Like I said, I don't necessarily have to sew them together. Those two just look really well together. Okay, so now I'm going to take my triangle here, and I'm going to place it so I can get two squares out of this. And anything extra is A-okay. I wouldn't mind a topper up there too, honey bunny.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. So I really like this gray. So I really want to make sure a lot of that is in there, but also a bit of the center. Okay. Okay. Now, is that going to give me 2? If I flip. Yes, it will. Okay. And I don't care. I can be wonky, schwonky, biggity bonky, whatever. You know, this is my quilt. These are things that are going to hang in my wall, be in my portfolio to show what I have done with my red scrappy fabrics over 2 decades. 2 decades of collecting, pretty much. I'd say so, Pop. Yeah? Yeah, he's nodding over there. So 2 decades, that's like 20 years, over 20 years of collecting. And I've had some of it for a very long time. and some of it for just a short period of time, because I've tried to use a bit of it as I've gone along making projects. Okay, I realize, okay, the orange bucket's getting a little big. I need to do a Halloween quilt. So I do a Halloween quilt. It's got a lot of oranges in it and so on and so forth, right? So that's when I realized, when I was focusing pretty much on this year of this project, that project, this baby quilt, this wall hanging, so on and so forth, ended up with a lot of scrappy bits left over. So I'm like, you know what, girlfriend, you got to like nip this in the bud. If you don't work on this pile, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you have the potential within this huge bucket with this big pile that I have still on the side here to make at least one, if not two quilts. So, you know, make a dent in it, because I'm always having leftover bits. I'm buying stuff for projects for customers if they want something. I'm buying new fabrics for the quilt shop when they're on sale. I've got beautiful rainbow fabrics from Northcott that are going to be great backings for this. Angie's seen them. Angie just one more book to read, so she's seen those ones, and she's like, oh my gosh, you know, Laura, those are fantastic. Those are great choices for your backing, because it's going to make any color that I put on the front pop. As well as if I decide to flip it over and put this on the bottom and use the backing as the quilting idea, that's just going to make that front of what's going to be the front so much more crazy. You know what I mean? It's going to make wild, because it's got curves of color and stuff, right? Exactly. It's a showcase of previous projects. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Jenny's leaving. Bye, Jenny. Coke on the rocks for you, please. Woohoo! Are we getting a little tipsy? Pardon? Chocolate for Sue? Drinks are on pop. He just went to the fridge and filled up with water and ice. He gave me some from cranberry strawberry juice. It's one of my favorites. All right, so I really like this silver. So I kind of, like I said, I want to have still a little bit of my center fabric there that I built up on. I'm not necessarily doing a log cabin. I'm just attaching things. I'm just picking a color and sticking it on a side, whether it happens to be the same side I've done twice or happens to be rotated. I'm really not thinking too much about it. I don't want to make this complicated. I just want to have a lot of fun with my red and gray scraps. That's what I was trying to work on, you know. I have a guild meeting tomorrow night. It's a potluck, and I have to make 2 placemats. Well, I don't have to make 2. I have to make one for myself. But I have a girlfriend, Pam, who is going to come with us, or she wants to come to kind of test out the guild thing. You know, I like our little local guild, the Erin Hillsburg Quilters Guild. It's small. It's 40 to under 50 people. You can really get to know each other. I find anything more than that is a little bit too much for me, per se. It's too much going on. I can't really get to know people. I really want to get to know people. I want to know what their passion is, what they love to do, what they like to stitch at, what they, you know, we obviously have the same passion of fabric, right? So, but some of them are more about bags. Some of them are more about table runners and quilts. Some of them are about anything that they can actually handle on their own domestic machine and will not send anything to a long arm. It's nothing ever that big. It's always what they want to handle here, or they can hand stitch. So, you know, I'm trying to get to know them and maybe express my talent in a way that I can help bring a little bit of business in, as well as express another artistic talent on their part, you know, giving me their freedom of reign on their quilts, tops and stuff like that, right? You know, I don't know. It's a bit of a, you know, a tit for tat sort of situation, you know, and it's so much fun. Like I said, I got to make two little placemats because we're having a potluck. I'm thinking about making some meatballs to go with our little potluck dinner. And like I said, my friend Pam is coming along, so I want to make sure I forgot to tell her she needs a placemat, so I'm going to make her one as a surprise and as a Christmas gift. So I'm going to make her a little placemat and make myself one too, because last year I didn't know about them. And I was like, oh, I felt a little left out. I was like, oh, I didn't know I needed a placemat. Well, it's my first time. You don't know it until it's your first time. And then, you know, but now I know. And I don't want her to feel left out. So I'm going to make sure she has one. And I'm going to make sure there's a little pocket for my knife and my fork and my napkin and my spoon and anything else I want. So I was actually going to make a dessert and make barbecue meatballs. So I had a dessert and a main dish. So that's kind of like how I like to show up. Let's go big or go home. You know what I mean? Okay, so trimming this out.
I have a question. Has anyone ever had a piece of fabric that they love so much that they had a hard time cutting it?
Oh, that'd be a good question. I can say yes for me. Honest to goodness, actually, you know what? It's over by the door. It's actually behind you, Pop. You could probably grab it. Well, not that you need to see it anyways. It's the Japanese quilt. It had three panels right beside each other. And I actually had a hard time cutting it. It was like, it should be a paper bag. Oh, up. There, it's right in front of you. Oh, sorry. I put it up instead just to make sure Clive wasn't going to nap on it. Show the bonus one. Bring the bonus one too. Oh, what's that? It should be in the bag. I wish you could see the Christmas tree all flashed. And I feel, you know, a little disappointed that you're not getting to see the Christmas tree. So... next time? Okay, so here, I'll come around this way. Okay, so this one right here, I'll stand back so you can actually see it. There we go. It's 45 by 48 or something like that. It had 3 of these Japanese beautiful panels side by side. And I thought, oh, how lovely would that look? But that would make such a, you know, not necessarily boring quilt because you just border it out, right? Here, I'll put it over here so you can actually really see it. Okay. And so actually I had a hard time cutting it out. So I'm like, do I cut it on the border here? Do I give a little bit of the black space? What do I do? It turned out really well. And it's a paisley feather stitch out. A little bit of accent fabric color on the back. To kind of tie it all together. What did I do with the other one? Oh, here. Okay. And because she's a local girl and her son crosses with me and she's very lovely and we've had many chats and so on and so forth, I did this one as a bonus gift for her. Sorry. It got a tickle. I apologize. Sorry. Isn't it beautiful? It's a koi. And it had a little bit of the backing left over. Sorry. So I thought, because she was giving the other one away to her mom, that this would be a nice little memory gift for herself. So I thought there was enough left over. Why not be a little bit more generous? And I did all the scales. I did all those scales myself. Isn't that pretty cool?
You're up as the light.
Out of the light? Sorry.
Yeah, hold it back.
Oh, apologize. Tickle. I'm sorry, coughing in your ear. I did all those scales myself. Every single one. So that was my little bonus gift to her. She has no idea about that. So when she comes to pick up the other one, this is my little, you know what, thank you for believing in me as an artist and as a quilter. And, you know, thank you. Thank you for the business. I am nothing if not at least try to be generous to the people who help support me and Pop in what we love to do. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Aw, I'm very gifted. Thank you very much. I just love to do it. That's the thing, you know. You got to do what you love to do, or what's the point? What's the point, really? You know, life is short. I've said many times. Here, I'll put it on this side so you can see. Life is like a meter, really. We start off 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Lucky to make it to 10, which is 100. So really, in the whole scheme of things, this is what we have. And I'm already right here. I'm already halfway. I'm at 46. I just had celebrated two weeks ago, as we well know, was my 46th birthday. And then life is short. And you need to enjoy every single moment of the ruler escape, per se. You know what I mean? Every single moment that you can get, that's in a little increment, an eighth at a time, a quarter at a time, half at a time, whatever. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Like, really. You know, that goes up to 140. They ain't weighing, 14. They ain't weighing I'm not making it to 140. Are you? So I'm going to enjoy every single moment I have and, take no chances. Just go for it. Go for it. Life is short.
So Deb asked how long you've been quilting with your long arm.
2 years. November 20th, 2015 is when it arrived here. November 21st, 2015 is when I cried that it was here. I thought I broke it. That's why I cried. And it was Pop's birthday. And we had such big plans. And I thought I broke the long arm. And I cried and I sobbed and I was whining. And I was like, I was beside myself. Because, they're expensive. We had to invest that money in Walt to begin with for our quilt business that we wanted to expand for ourselves and the love that we love to do about the fabric and what I love to do about fabric and make quilts, and just make quilts and do quilts and have fun with charity quilts and quilts of valor for our veterans and people who have served our country and charity quilts for Ronald McDonald House and halfway houses and moms in needs and young moms and, whatever the case may be. So
how many quilts do you think you've done?
Oh gosh, really? I'd say rough estimate, we're looking at probably maybe, what do you think, about 300 pop? 350?
It's around that, yeah.
Yeah, anywhere from probably I'd say closer to 350 mark. Honest to goodness. Yeah, probably close to 350. And that's a lot of charity. That's more than half, probably 280, 250 at least of those for charity itself, nonprofit. The rest were gifts. Gifts are bought. Somebody bought, gifts are bought. But I'd say at least 3/4 of that is definitely for charity, because that's where they need it the most, Like I said, I don't have a continuous collection of fabric that I can keep storing and storing and storing. I have a certain amount of space. That's the amount of space that I have to work with. When it starts to overcrowd that space, I need to make something with it. Hence the bucket. I need to make something with it. Other than that, it's just going to end up, being invalid at that point. So, and I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. What did I do with my other triangles? Oh, they're there. Okay. All right. So here's our other 2 triangles. Okay. Completely different. We could sew those together if we wanted to. Doesn't really matter. I think we kind of will. Why not? Let's make some progress here. Let's sew those 2. I've made a lot, but I enjoy it though. That's the thing. I enjoy doing what I do. I love giving back to the community and to people in need. People have had house fires and people have, lost a loved one and they needed pillows made or a memory quilt made or so on and so forth, I'm not sticking my hand out there to be greedy. I'm sticking my hand out there to be helpful. And I'm not asking for money. There's many times I don't say a word about anything to do with money. I'm just saying, hey, you know what, you need a memory quilt, let me know. Let me know. Let me see how I can help you. You know what I mean? Let me see what I can do for you. All right, I like these 2 together too. So let's we'll make 4 in a row. Make some progress today. Can't believe it's already getting dark. That's why I said to Pop to get the last bit of this, the snow in on the trees there before it got too dark and you couldn't see what was going on. Aw, thanks, Nancy. I appreciate that. I really do. Ever since I met Pop 26 years ago, he did say I was pretty unique. So there we go. There's 2 sets of triangles. So one, I guess one big square each.
I'm sure that's not the word I used, by the way.
What did you say?
I'm sure unique was not the word.
I'm not going to put words in his mouth, so let's put it that way. There we go. Isn't that cute? This is going to make a beautiful red and gray project. Does Pop sew? He does, and he has. Actually, he's already built a block. Where's your block, babe?
I don't know.
Don't know where your block is?
Hit it.
You hit it. Uh-oh. Oh, thank you, Linda. You guys are awesome. Big hugs. Big hugs and loves. Really. Honest to goodness. We just have fun. We would just want to have fun. That's the whole point of life, right? We like adopting a family too. We'd rather, I don't need for a lot of things. And people were curious of what I got for my birthday. Munchkin made me a trophy, also known as egg cup holder. I'm not sure where it went, sweetie pie. Is it over on the, okay. And also like a little crystal tree that he made. All things that he made. He turned the little ornament. What are you doing? Shazamming? Oh. By himself on the lathe, and he made the crystal little trees that I can put threads on and so on and so forth. So I love homemade gifts. I'm not about all the bought stuff. So people want to see this?
Yep.
Okay, there's the Shazam! Shazam! Yeah. It was so much fun to do this, and I love the texture of this quilt. Look at that. Isn't that so fantastic? A great idea of Angie's. Okay. Pardon me? Pull it back? Okay. What about there?
Yeah, that's good.
And there's the back side. It just had black. Just, sorry, black. I don't know where, white is the new black. The white. I don't know where I got black from. I'm sorry. There's the back of it. Sorry, I think I meant to say back and not black. There we go. And there's the front. You can see that really good in detail. And look how, because I didn't stitch any of this down, it pops out. It's like, boom, gotcha. Shazamazoid. Isn't it awesome? I love it. Now, hopefully, was that the right way you were thinking about there, Angie? Was that about the right idea for the quilting? I hope that was pretty darn close. I'm sorry, Deb. See, you woken up the dog. No sleeping. Go get treats, snacks, treats. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? Love it. Love it. Exactly. And I can't wait to hang it up on the design wall because it's pretty much going to go up in the corner and stay there. And I'm also kind of thinking about maybe designing a slight little super cape to go with it. Just kind of hang off the side. What do you think? It's not, I love your Shazam. Well, I'm glad you love it because but that's all Angie's idea except for the quilting. I did that. That was about it. So hopefully she did good. Hopefully I did. Yeah, good. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So there's 2 done. All right. All right. Let's make another set. What's going on? So, pardon?
Leave a comment.
I can't. Best sewing, man. Okay. All right. Of course, because I am Canadian A. I love this fabric, so I want to make sure there's a nice big chunk of that right in the center. Okay, so I'm going to maybe do this one a bit bigger. I am so excited to draw the name for the tree skirt. You have no idea. I could almost barely sleep last night. Actually, no, it was Friday night to Saturday because I knew the video was going out at midnight. And then that's when you can start entering your words after I did the last one of heart, H-E-A-R-T, just a little hint just in case you missed something. I got 11 videos to watch. Do that one. And I was like, this is like pins and needles. Like, who entered? Did anybody enter? Did they get all the words right? What happened? Did they say anything in the comments? Blah, 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 blah. It's weird. It's weird. It's kooky but weird. I love it. I love it. And of course, Pop, in his editing, because I only see what, you know, pretty much, you know, what I put in front of the camera, silliness or otherwise. And he does all his magic in his background sessions. So, you know, I don't, sometimes it's like, oh, what are you doing over there? And, you know, he's making magic happen. Let's put it that way. Okay, I like that one. That's going to be my center square. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of this shiny gray. I think we had a bolt of this, but we pretty much used it up pretty fast with a couple of quilts. It was also Northcott. I have to say, I love Northcott fabrics. They are just beautiful texture, whether it's the cotton, whether it's the flannel, what have you. It's just, it's nice feeling and good texture, and it's thick. You know what I mean? It's not flimsy stuff. So, do-do-do. All right, I like this fabric here. It's just enough to cover this space. If I go on this side, and that's a big chunk of red, but I'm okay with that. It's a bit of a, like a handkerchief or handkerchief, depending on how you say it, sort of fabric, which is actually leftover bits of Angie's Texas quilt challenge that she gave me. This is some of the fabric in there. I love that. It's beautiful. I love homemade. Good. I'm glad you do, Connie. I love homemade too. Oh, what happened? My stepdaughter told me she did not appreciate my homemade quilts. Well, guess what? She does not. Good. Sorry to say that. Screw her. She didn't deserve it at that point. Are you kidding me? Find somebody else who loves it. Clearly not worthy of your art. I'm sorry to be so rude. So rude, Laura Lynn. So rude. I've done, you know. Actually, you know what? I have to honestly, I've been there. It was about 8 years ago. I didn't know what to make for my father-in-law, his new wife. So I crocheted. I spent hours and bought fabric, yarn, and crocheted her little over-the-shoulder bag because I knew she went to bingo and she liked going to the markets and stuff like that. So a little over-the-shoulder bag. They came to pick it up. It was just before or after Christmas. I can't remember. And she had the nerve to say to me, I was flabbergasted, what, you couldn't afford to buy something? And I'm like, I took all the time to actually crochet you something. Like, I made you something personal with a little flap and chose the colors and did a little pattern and made the strap and everything else like that. And she had the nerve to say that. I was like, I just wanted to go, pow, pow. But I didn't. I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was I'm like, yeah, I could afford to buy something, but I didn't want to. Because you're a bit of a hose bag. Jeez. I don't know. Just me. I hear you. And when you're all your work and your artistic talent is underappreciated, you just kind of want to pow, exactly. Pop them into chops. Don't be so rude. Exactly. Some people just don't get it. Exactly, Claire. They're so self-centered in their own personality, they don't give two hoots about anything else, which is really sad. All right, but we're not going to think about that. We're going to make some fun stuff in this red and gray quilt. In this red and gray quilt. I can see me spending a little bit of time on this on Christmas vacation. We go really late this year too. It's like we come out, what is it, 23rd? No, 22nd. 22nd of December, we start Christmas vacation. And then we don't go back until like December 10th or something like that, which is just crazy. It's just crazy. Do-do-do. All right. Well, I just felt like I spent all that time and effort, right, to design something and thought really hard on what she could use. I didn't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money. We try to optimize what we have on hand, you know, and I thought it was pretty being, you know, creating and, you know, I don't know, whatever. Nonetheless, it's what happened. Disappointing as the case may be. Can't pick your family. Just got to deal with them. Or ignore them. I guess that's your choice. All right, I like this black and gray. I feel like I'm incorporating a little bit of you in this quilt there, Pop, with this fabric. Doo-doo-doo. Some people's children. Exactly. Right, Pop? Yeah, you just can't pick and choose.
I think Jenny's right, though. There's sometimes that when you bowl someone over with a handmade gift, so they're completely in shock and love it completely. So there's two sides to that.
That's true, but it was more on the, you know, the fact that she said, "Oh, you couldn't afford to buy me a gift." It was kind of like, I spent more time and money on making this gift than I could have just went and bought you a sweater for $50. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyways. La 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 la. Zen.
I think the difference is, though, that if we dwell on those people, then we're not doing the things we should be.
That's exactly, and that's why I want to have some fun. Just have some fun. F-U-N. No, that's not a secret word. All the secret words are done. They were love and friends and your and they and yep, all sorts. Still have time to watch all the videos and enter all your words. Get a chance to win a tree skirt, a lap quilt, or 5 fat quarters or 1.5 yards of fabric. It's your choice. And I got lots of fabric to choose from. I do. Oh, what was the fabric? What was the verdict on this? Did we say yes or no? I didn't say that. What was that? I don't remember. Fill me in. Refresh my memory. Was that yes or no on that?
One yes.
One yes? Sorry? Yeah? Okay, all right. Well, I kind of liked it myself. That's why I went into the pile, but it's got that green and white, and I wasn't too sure if it was too much. Like, too much, you know what I mean? Like, too much. No. Sometimes, like, I am too much. Never enough. I made oatmeal chocolate chip raisin cookies literally moments before live streaming today. Didn't I, Pop? What are you laughing about?
Apparently, Ginny and Fastlet are feeling contrary today, so they both said no.
No. Oh, well. It's going in. Just a little bit. Suck up, ladies. Just a little bit. Pop and I and Munchkin would just like to say a big thank you to everybody who has participated in this word quilt along with the 2017 Christmas quilt. We have enjoyed it so very much and have enjoyed including you with it, with the little secret words and your chance to win something awesome that we have made here in the quilt shop via the live streams. And the fact that you get one and I get the other is just that much more special. You know, it's all the little things in life that really. Oh, we still have to get cookies. Oh, I get one. Ah, thank you. See, cookie. Oh, my raisin cookie. Go ahead, feel free to grab a snack. I feel like I'm eating in front of you. They're really good. No, but really, honestly, we thank you very, very much. We've had a lot of fun. It's brought our family members closer together, willingly or unwillingly, whatever the case may be. Oops. There we go. We really have. We've had a lot of fun. And we thank you very, very much. And appreciate your lovely comments and your warm, loving cards that when you send them and when you've included your quilt block. And anybody who wants to get their quilt block in, get it in. I wasn't driving today when we went out for breakfast, so we would have stopped by Staples and grabbed some plastic forms for all your quilt blocks. We'll put them together, start putting together them in the new year. And we'll maybe make it like a weekend project sort of thing. So you can see what's going on. I want some red. I want some red. I want some maple leaf red. It's calling my name. Maple leaf red. Do. Is that enough of maple leaf red? Yes, it is. It's beautiful. So that's a bit of whiteness, but that kind of complements that other fabric that I was questioning on. So, The sucky thing is when you're a good baker, you eat it all. And so does everybody else in the house. Hi, Mary. Oh, good. I'm glad you love the red and the gray. It's looking pretty good. What we've done is we've done triangles. So I've tried to do a square that was 10 by 10 at least, and then ended up cutting 2 triangles out and then sewing those 2 triangles flop side together. So pretty cool, eh? This is going to be a beautiful quilt. It's all Pop's idea. It's just like triangle. I'm like, okay, I like that. Triangle it is. And I thought, okay, instead of just focusing on doing a triangle, how do we do a square and make this the optimized as much as possible, right? So you get 2 for 1 bonus, but they would be different because you're cutting on the different sections, right? See, they don't look the same. Doesn't look anything near like the same, right? Pretty cool. Thought that was the point of baking, is eating it? Yeah, but when you eat it all, like all of it, I'm not good. Jiggly, jiggly. As long as you're happy. I guess that's all that really matters. Okay, so I need to add another chunk on this side. I like that. Let's do that. Let's do a very big chunk of that. Okay. And then we should have our 10 by 10, and that'll be our 3rd triangle. Okay. All right, let's even this up a bit. Let's turn this around. Okay, and then we can make our 3rd triangle, and that'll be more progress on our red and gray quilt. And since you guys seem to like that brown to go with the orange or the blue, I may just have enough to do either one of those. So orange is obviously next, or is it pink? What really comes after red in the rainbow selection? I feel like a Kermit the Frog song. Rainbow connection. What does come next? What is it? What? Is it orange Or is it pink? Tell me now. Because that'll be what we're working on after this. Pink, yellow? Pink, orange. The lovers, the dreamers, and you. Mom, 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 mom. The rainbow connection. All right. Triangle time. Triangle time. Okay, like I said, I don't mind being on an angle. Obviously, you can get all the pieces in there. I don't care if it's that way, as long as I get a little bit of, at least of the centerpiece in there. I can think a little bit more the funkier the better sort of idea. Okay, that's one. Now I'm going to flip my triangle over and cut on 2 more sides. Okay, and of course those pieces can be left back into the pot to grab from a scrappy bit pile. And there's our other 2 triangles right there that were just like this, as one big square. Orange, pink, and red. Really? Where to enter the words? WeSewIt.ca. That's where you go in, Anita. Red, yellow, pink.
I'll link it.
Okay, Pop will link it, so no worries. You can just click on it and enter all the words. I know you probably have them. Heidi ho, Anita's got them. Have you new? Oh, just the other side of the house, actually, Karen. What was behind you? Actually, Pop can probably just pan around so you can actually see. We haven't moved very far. Just go all the way around to the Christmas tree, sweetie.
I don't know that I can.
Oh, you don't know if he can? He's going to try and pan around so you can see. We have not moved very far. We just kind of shifted everything a little bit. There's one of the main windows, the major window for outside. There's the long arm walt. There's the pellet stove in the back there in the left corner. There's a project I have going on there, and there was obviously where my desk was before, and then the Christmas tree. So you can see that there. So we just kind of shifted on the other side. We needed a little bit more space. I know I love the tree. I love how it's flashed in there too. So you can see what I see. I love it. I love it. I love it a lot. You can't see the snow falling anymore because it's too dark. Can't believe it's already after 5 already. Where's the time go? Like, serious. Oh my gosh. So fast. So fast. All right, so I am going to sew these 2 together in the path that I like them. And then I'm going to sew it to this little row right here. And I'm thinking, because if this is 6 little triangles across, I'm thinking I'd probably like maybe 8 triangles across for this project. And we'll see how that goes. Let's see how the 6 look. Hold on, let's line this up a little bit better. Point to point, 1/4 inch seam allowance. I love our Christmas tree. It's actually one of the I had been so resistant to a fake tree for so long that when Pop came to me last year and he goes, you know what? I found a really good deal on a pre-lit Christmas tree. It looks really good. because there was no way he was coming to me with anything that was like pretty much half-assed. So he was coming with me. He knew I was going to like it. It was full. It looked full. It didn't look like a fake tree. It had multi-lights. He knows how much I love the lights and how the lights can change color and flash and so on and so forth. I love that, you know, that we can do the little, you know, bibbity bobs on it. It's not just a solid. You know, this one can fade in and out. It can flash the colors. It can be solid. It can be this. It can be that. It can be blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I know he knew that was important to me in a Christmas tree. That's why we've always bought. For 26 years that we'd been together, or 25 years at that point, we'd been together, we'd always bought a Christmas tree. Every between the 10th and the 15th of December, we bought a Christmas tree. So when he said, yeah, you know, I have this one here, what do you think about it? It's not going to come until a little bit later, so we're going to have to put off getting the Christmas tree, but we'll get this one. And when it came and we pulled it out of the box and we set it up and it turned on the lights, and I was like, you know what? I love this. This is fantastic. And the fact, even more so this year, because we got it so late last year, it was only about the 20th or 22nd or whatever that we ended up getting the tree. This year we've had it in November, we've had the tree up. So it's been fantastic to be able to enjoy it in the colors and have this area lit up at night. You know, you make your way to get yourself a glass of water, you let Sophie out for a pee or whatever. You know, it's nice to have those Christmas lights there. In fact, I'm gonna miss it. I may just want to run some lights around the house. Why not? Why not? All right, so I added those two together. Those are those two wood triangles that we just put right there. And now I'm going to add it to this section here. Okay. And that's how I'm just going to putter it. And we'll continue some more next week for sure. So when we draw the name for the winner of the tree skirt, the second prize, the third prize, and if we happen to have a fourth prize, which we just might because I'm feeling generous. So I'm very happy that everybody who has entered, and if you haven't, please do so, because now there is a fourth prize, okay? You get a fourth prize. It's still, you can get 3 fat quarters from the quilt shop or a 1/4 of a yard, okay? So that's your choice. There's 4 prizes, and we'll promise we'll draw all 4 names. And there's some people who have suggested, they say, you know what, I don't really need a tree skirt. Please take this, I'll take the second, you know, and we're totally cool with that. We love it. We know if you don't want to use the tree skirt because you got sentimental values on one you already have, then that's fantastic. You know, great. You know, I'm happy that you still partaked, that you watched all the videos, that you kept all the words, that you knew all the words, and you know, we've had a lot of fun along the way. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. And what does that measure out to? Ish. Okay. Because we're obviously going to have the one there and then with half. So it's about 45 inches, okay, if we were to add a section here. So that's not too bad. That's not bad for a lap quilt or, you know, even like probably a bed quilt. So I think we'll do another 2, which should add, let's just see here. So if we do that and then add another 2, which put us probably about 55 inches. So that's probably what we'll do. We'll end up doing 6 triangles, or sorry, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8 triangles across. And then, so I'm not really hacking off any of my pretty creations. Maybe we can use big chunks of gray pieced together to block out that other triangle. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. What do we think? Yeah? What is a triangle ruler I'm using? Oh, that's a good question. It's an Omni Grid. You know what? I think it's just a 90. Yeah, 90 and, you know, 45 this way, 90 this way. It's pretty cool. I've had it forever, like literally. And I think I just did this little gougey mark right today as I was trying to square stuff up. But I've had it for a very long time. I haven't really used it a lot, and as soon as Pop said maybe a triangle scrappy quilt for the red and the gray, this is what I thought of. I'm like, you know what, that's fantastic. I can use that as my tracer to make the beautiful triangle, and then when they get flipped and flopped and flipped and flopped and all sewn together with the short sides instead of the long sides, though you could easily have sewn the different long sides together and made squares, and then made squares from there and put them on point, and whatever, Bob's your uncle. You got yourself a fantastic other quilt. So, I mean, I'm liking how this is going along really well. I didn't think I was going to be this pleased with it, but I am loving this gray and this red. And yeah, we'll continue it next week. So yeah. Anybody have any questions? What are we working on? Long Arm Wednesday is going to be the one behind us, the tree farm. Stay tuned. We've had a lot of fun doing that on the live stream. So hopefully you tune into that, because I'm just going to free motion it like crazy. Whatever I feel like doing, that's what's going on with the tree. What flying goose ruler do you recommend? I don't think I've ever even used a flying goose ruler, Steph. So I can't even say that. So how many words? 12. 12 words there, Deb. Last one was yesterday's in the 12th block. And I'll give you a hint. It was heart, H-E-A-R-T. So really, there's your half, not even half the battle's done, but you only have 11 more words to go find out. And joy, love, and peace, and all that sort of other stuff, okay? Sneaks. Shh. All right, have a fantastic rest of the evening, everybody. And thank you so much for joining me. And we'll see you on Long Arm Wednesday. We're doing the farm and the weekend project, where we're going to be doing the panel. We're going to put this behind like a window. Hold on, get this right here. I'll stand up so you can see it. There we go. So we're going to put that as a panel window, okay? So get yourself a little panel that you're looking for, whether it's this way or that way. I'm sure the principles will pretty much be the same. So, you know, isn't it beautiful? I love it. $16.99 I paid for this little panel. It's lovely. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the project, and we will continue on. I'll try and make a couple more blocks by next weekend, but other than that, we're just going to continue on with the red and gray scrappy quilt. All right, take care, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of the day of the Sunday. Enjoy your evening, morning, whatever have you, and we'll see you soon. Okay, big hugs. Here, I'll hold this up. There we go. Thanks, everybody.